Welcome to another Badass News Group report, with our dynamic, brave and devastatingly handsome anchormen Arcturus 101 and the Beast in the East. Today the team cover the finale of Season 2 of Luther, Mission Impossible 4, Pacific Rim and Holy Terror, the first comic from Legendary Comics. Sit back and enjoy the Bang Report.
And I'm the Beast in the East. So I see, Arcturus, you seem to be still playing with your silly little hammer.
Thank you very much for that little introduction, The Beast. I would just like to say, I'm not going to stoop to the cat calling, the name calling, and anything else you might do with regards to Thor and the Green Lantern. We all know that the Green Lantern sucked. You just need to get over it, my friend, so we can all move on with our lives. And now, for some TV news. Regular listeners of our podcast will know that I absolutely adore the show Luther. This is the crime drama series on BBC Two that first aired last year and is currently in its second season. A second season that surprisingly is actually ending, set for its finale this Tuesday. According to an article on bbc.co.uk, the season was actually only ever intended to be only 2 episodes long, each episode being about 2 hours long. Now, according to Idris Elba, who is the producer and actor of the show, he has plans for Luther to actually go onto the big screen, and he'd intended for this shorter second season to be more intense and to have storylines that would be more relevant for a feature film. And so this second series we should look at as a creative step in that direction. Although I have to say, exactly when Idris Elba plans on dedicating the time to complete a feature-length film of Luther is beyond me, because the man is very busy. He's wrapping up production on Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, which has got to be the surefire stinker of 2012 with Nicolas Cage. He's also filming Ridley Scott's Prometheus, and that also co-stars Michael Fassbender and Guy Pearce. He is shooting Pacific Rim. Listeners, Pacific Rim is Guillermo del Toro's upcoming alien apocalypse movie, and you guys remember Del Toro, right? He's the uber geek director who always seems to be attached to every single fantasy and comic book project in Hollywood. And he's the man that's brought us 2 Hellboy movies, Pan's Labyrinth, Blade 2, and is now notoriously known for abandoning the challenge of directing Peter Jackson's Hollywood films. Having said all that, we should just enjoy the final episode of Luther this week. I don't think we'll be seeing a 3rd season anytime soon, given Idris Elba's commitments. Although I do predict that after a while he will come back to it, and maybe then we'll be treated to either another, series, which I sincerely hope for, or he might come back and just do a film. And now, on to some movie news. The arrival of the new Mission Impossible movie trailer on the web will not have escaped the avid trailer watchers amongst you. Yes folks, Tom Cruise is back with the action franchise based on the classic TV series that was once seen as the American spy franchise to rival 007. That is of course until the Bourne movies turned up. Anyway, the new trailer treats us to multiple occasions and action set pieces which all seem to be suitably clever and grandiose in their execution. However, more importantly, it does reveal that Monsieur Cruise has done a bit of house cleaning with regards to his supporting cast. Gone are the promising young talents of Jonathan Rhys-Meyers and Maggie Q, and yes, they finally ditched the black guy. Ving Rhames, bruh, you survived 3 films, and they let you walk away off screen and not suffer the indignity of being the first casualty on screen in the new movie. So who stepped up to the plate? Well, for one, Simon Pegg seems to have kept his place in the starting lineup. Maggie Q has been replaced with the hottie of the moment, Paula Patton. She was last seen alongside Denzel Washington in Deja Vu. And of course, Jeremy Renner. Now, Jeremy must really thank his agent. He has gone from playing second-rate bad guys in SWAT to leading roles in the critically acclaimed movies such as The Hurt Locker, The Town. And if that wasn't enough, he's bagged himself a role as Hawkeye in the Thor movie and the upcoming Avengers movie. Jeremy Renner, he's so hot right now. Directing duties this time have been assigned to Oscar-winning director Brad Bird. You know, Brad Bird, the guy who directed The Incredibles, The Iron Giant, Ratatouille. How do I feel about that? I mean, those movies are great and all, but I have some serious doubts over the ability of an animation director to reproduce great action in live-action movies. My fear is that it will be such a CG fest, and it will be filled with set pieces like the ones we saw in that movie Red, when Bruce Willis stepped out of a spinning car at full pelt and shot a gun. It might have looked cool in a storyboard, but in real life it's just Anyway, Mission Impossible 4 Ghost Protocol will be released this December on Boxing Day, and that's it from me. Back to you, the Beast.
It's interesting you mentioned Pacific Rim, a film about humans piloting giant robots in an attempt to fight off, surprise, surprise, an alien invasion. Because now Guillermo has had to commit after Warner Brothers and Legendary Pictures have now finally announced a release date for the movie for July the 12th, 2013. So Guillermo, your long siesta is finally over. Which neatly takes us to our next story piece. Legendary Pictures, the studio behind such great movies as Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, Inception and The Hangover, as well as some real grade A stinkers, such as Every 13-Year-Old Boy's Wet Dream, That Monstrosity, Sucker Punch, Superman Returns, and the worst epic fantasy movie, forget it, the worst movie of all times, Clash of the Titans. Well, they are entering the world of publishing by launching their comic house this September with none other than celebrated graphic novelist and occasional movie maker Frank Miller, who gave us such iconic titles such as The Dark Knight Returns in the 80s, as well as Sin City and 300 in the 90s. Well, he'll be bringing us the brutal tale of our hero, the Fixer, in Holy Terror, which will be 120 pages of beautiful illustrations, as well as visceral and gruesome storytelling, and can be yours, as I said, from this September. So sadly, this brings us to the end of another MGCTv Bang Report. We hope you've enjoyed the show, but you'll have to forgive me as I prepare to crush my nemesis, my foe, my enemy, my co-anchor, Arcturus 101, in the name of Green Lantern.